Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into the world of machinery assembly coordinators today.
Definitely a fascinating field.
It is. We've got RoleCatcher's career guide to unpack, which is awesome because
Yeah, their guides are always super in-depth.
totally. So if you're curious about this career path, you're in the right spot.
Absolutely. We'll break it all down.
All right, so machinery assembly coordinator, just saying it kind of sounds like
Yeah.
nuts and bolts, wrenches, you know, maybe not the most exciting image.
Right. Not exactly glamorous at first glance.
Exactly. But this guide is hinting at some hidden depths here.
Oh, definitely. There's way more to it.
So what's the real deal? Beyond the nuts and bolts, what's life actually like in this role?
It's less about being a wrench-wielding expert, more like imagine conducting a whole orchestra,
Ooh, okay, I like that.
but with machinery, right? Each part's got to play its role perfectly. It's about bringing order to a potentially chaotic process.
Interesting. So you're almost like the conductor of a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
And the guide even highlights some cool perks, right? Like working with your hands, seeing a project through from scratch, and even potential for growth, moving up the ranks. It's kind of like being the unsung hero behind the scenes.
100%. And that's what makes it so satisfying. It's not just a job. It's about making something real, something you can actually touch and see.
I bet that's got to feel good, seeing your work come to life like that.
It really does.
But being real, the guide also mentions long hours sometimes, stressful situations.
Yeah.
Gotta ask.
Yeah.
Is this a career for someone who thrives under pressure? You need nerves of steel or something?
You know, it's definitely not always easy. There are deadlines, unexpected problems pop up. You're coordinating a ton of moving parts.
Yeah, sounds kind of hectic.
It can be, for sure. But honestly, for the right person, someone who likes that fast-paced environment, who's up for a challenge, the rewards are huge.
It's just like you got to have that certain personality type, that drive.
That's it. It's about finding the right fit. And that's where the skill set comes in. It's really interesting.
Okay, what do you mean?
The guide gets into it, and you might be surprised. It's not just about being handy, with tools.
Really? Now you've got me curious. I thought it was all wrenches and grease.
Right? But no, it's more than that. We're talking strong reading comprehension, critical thinking.
Wow. Okay, so like more brain power than I expected.
Definitely. And even, get this, active listening. That's a big one.
Wait, hold up. Active listening on a factory floor with all the noise and machinery.
I know, right? It sounds kind of out of place, but it's crucial. Think about it. You're on the floor. You've got engineers, suppliers, your own team.
So many people to wrangle.
Exactly. And you got to communicate with all of them effectively.
Make sure everyone's on the same page.
100%. You're reading blueprints, troubleshooting on the fly, explaining things clearly.
So active listening is less about the listening and more about really understanding what everyone needs.
Exactly. It's about anticipating problems, keeping things running smoothly. It's a huge part of the job.
Wow, okay. That makes sense. I never would have thought of it like that.
It's a different kind of skill set than you might imagine.
Totally. So you've got the skills, you're cool with the pressure, but what about actually getting hired? What kind of education are we talking about here?
Good question. The guide goes into the typical paths, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all degree. You'll see mechanical engineering grads, for sure,
Makes sense.
but also industrial engineering, operations management, even some folks from tech backgrounds.
Interesting. So it's more about the skills and passion than just having a specific piece of paper.
It seems that way. They're all drawn to problem solving, to making things happen.
So even someone with, say, some community college courses or even just solid experience with technical drawing, they'd still have a shot.
Absolutely. The guide actually mentions that hands-on experience is highly valued by a lot of employers.
Experience over everything, huh?
In many cases, yeah. Knowing the industry, having that practical know-how, it can make all the difference.
All right, so we're seeing how this career path isn't just one straight line, which is pretty cool.
Right, lots of different ways to get there.
But let's talk about climbing those ranks, yeah.
Yeah.
The guide breaks it down from entry level all the way to lead coordinator.
Each step you get more responsibility, more on your plate.
So what's that journey actually look like? You start at the bottom, entry level, what are you doing there?
Think of it like you're learning the ropes, assisting the more senior folks, getting a feel for how things run.
Okay, getting your hands dirty.
Exactly. You might be doing things like quality checks on the components.
Quality checks, huh? That sounds kind of intense.
It's all about precision at that level. Like even a tiny error can throw everything off.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's high stakes.
Exactly. You're making sure everything meets the exact specifications, catching those small details before they become big problems.
You really got to have a sharp eye.
Absolutely. And then as you progress, you move up to junior coordinator.
Okay, so what changes there? What's different about being a junior coordinator?
Now you're starting to take more ownership, right? You might be managing your own small projects.
Oh, wow. Already?
Yeah, coordinating with suppliers, maybe even training newer team members.
So you're not just learning anymore, you're teaching too.
Exactly. It's the next step, putting those skills into action.
That's got to be a good feeling, seeing other people learn from you.
Definitely rewarding.
Okay, but then what about senior coordinator? That sounds pretty high up. What are the challenges like at that level?
At that point, you're basically running the show for specific projects or even whole areas of the factory.
Wow, okay, so big picture stuff.
Exactly. You're thinking about strategy, working with other departments, safety regulations, the whole 9 yards.
So it's not just about getting the product out the door, it's about the whole process.
Exactly. And that's where the lead coordinator comes in. They're the ones thinking about the future of the entire operation.
Okay, so lead coordinator, that's like the top dog. Right.
Yeah, pretty much. They're overseeing everything, managing budgets, making long-term plans. It's a huge responsibility.
Wow, we've gone from nuts and bolts to basically running a whole factory.
Right. It's amazing how much depth there is to this career path.
It really is. And speaking of resources, this guide we've been talking about from RoleCatcher,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
they don't just leave you hanging after outlining the career path. They give you tools to actually get hired.
Seriously, they've thought of everything.
Like what? Give me the highlights. What's RoleCatcher got?
Okay, so they have these interview guides, right? Packed with sample questions specifically for machinery assembly coordinators.
Oh, wow. So no more going into an interview blind.
Exactly. You can practice your answers, build your confidence, be totally prepared.
That's amazing. And what about resumes and cover letters? Those are always a pain.
RoleCatcher's got you covered. They have this tool called RoleCatcher Copilot AI.
RoleCatcher Copilot AI. Okay, that sounds high-tech. What is it?
It's like having your own personal assistant for your job search, basically.
Okay, I'm listening.
It analyzes job descriptions, figures out exactly what skills and keywords employers are looking for.
That's wild. So it's like it does the hard work for you, figuring out what they want to see.
Exactly. So you can tailor your resume and cover letter to each specific job.
That's incredibly helpful. And they have a resume builder too, right?
Yep. Makes it super easy to create a professional-looking resume in minutes. And they even have a feature where you can practice interview questions and record your answers.
Wow, they really do offer everything. This has been eye-opening, honestly.
Right. It's not just about wrenches and bolts. It's so much more than that.
Exactly. There's real potential here, a chance to build a solid career, and with the right resources, like what RoleCatcher offers, seems totally achievable.
100%. It's all about having the information and the tools.
Well said. And on that note, we'll be sure to link all those awesome RoleCatcher resources in the show notes, so definitely check those out.
Don't miss those.
This has been an amazing deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, happy job hunting.